You're scrolling through endless sewing machines because you need something that actually works day to day, not just a glossy spec sheet. You've probably heard the horror stories of a machine that looks amazing in the showroom, but stalls on a simple stretch stitch, or a fancy embroidery unit that eats thread and leaves you tangled for hours. That hesitation is real. Spending a few $100s on a tool you'll use every week should feel safe, not a gamble. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking at the Bernette B79 bundle, I asked myself three things. Will it handle my everyday garment repairs and my occasional quilting blocks without constant fiddling? Is the accessory package really a cost saver, or just a way to bulk up the price? And finally, does the machine stay intuitive after the first dozen projects? Those are the same questions most buyers face, and the answers end up shaping whether the B79 lands in a hobbyist's craft room or gathers dust. First-time users will notice the B79's layout right away. The LCD screen is big enough to read instructions without squinting, and the control dial sits at a comfortable height, so you don't have to lean over the machine to change stitch settings. In my test run, I swapped from a basic straight stitch to a decorative satin stitch in under 10 seconds. No endless menu diving. That speed matters when you're stitching a batch of pillowcases. You want the machine to keep up, not to become a bottleneck. The bundle's biggest selling point is the $500 worth of accessories that come in the box. You get 3 hoop sizes, an extension table, 11 presser feet, and a set of high-quality thread. For someone who's built a small home studio, that eliminates the need to purchase each piece separately. The 15 cm embroidery hoop is perfect for monogramming a shirt collar, while the larger 30 cm hoop lets you tackle a 6-inch patch without having to re-hoop midway. I used the quilting foot on a 1-inch denim jacket patch, and the feed dog stayed consistent, which is a relief when you're pulling fabric through a heavier material. Now, the hidden trade-offs. Because the B79 packs a lot of functionality into a single chassis, the machine is a bit heavier than a basic mechanical unit. Moving it from a living room table to a dedicated sewing table takes a couple of minutes and a bit of muscle, so if you need a portable option for travel or craft fairs, you might look elsewhere. Another practical wrinkle is the thread tension adjustment. The dial is precise, but on the very thick cotton flannel I used for a winter blanket, I had to go through 3 fine-tuning steps before the stitches stopped puckering. That's not a flaw, it's just a reminder that the machine's heavy-duty performance claim comes with the expectation that you'll spend a minute setting it up for each fabric weight. Who should buy the Bernette B79? If you're a beginner who wants to grow into embroidery without buying a separate machine later, the B79 is a solid entry point. It's also a good match for hobbyists who already sew, but want to add a reliable embroidery capability without breaking the bank. The Al-Anon bundle means you won't have to chase down a specialty presser foot for each new project. On the other hand, seasoned quilters who already own a dedicated quilting machine may find the B79's stitch variety redundant, and they might prefer a lighter, single-purpose unit. Likewise, if you're looking for a truly portable machine for on-the-go repairs, the weight and size could be a deal-breaker. Let's talk value beyond the headline specs. The advanced sewing and embroidery features are not just marketing fluff, they translate into practical time savers. The built-in thread cutter trims the bobbin thread cleanly, so you don't have to pull a pair of scissors after each seam. The automatic needle threader saved me several minutes over the course of a morning's worth of projects, especially when I was threading a new size needle for a delicate silk scarf. Those little conveniences add up, especially if you sew several times a week. In terms of durability, the machine feels sturdy. The metal frame absorbs the vibrations from the motor, which means the surface of the table stays relatively still even when you're running a long embroidery design. That steadiness matters when you're stitching a 1/200 stitch floral motif on a tote bag. Any wobble shows up as a jagged line. The only downside I observed was the occasional soft start lag when you first press the start button on a high-speed stitch. It's not a malfunction, just a brief pause that some users might find annoying if they are trying to keep a rhythm on a fast sewing project. Another practical strength is the included extension table. It gives you extra real estate for larger projects, such as a 24-inch quilt top, without having to buy a separate workbench. The table slides smoothly and locks securely, so there's no risk of the machine shifting while you're stitching a long seam. I used the table for a beginner's quilt block series and the